Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. Now, I'm going to break this apart and talk about the facts in this case because lots of people running around all excited on the right and on the left. On the right, they've got Biden. On the left, oh, it's just a mistake. There's no crime committed here. Folks, I was an intelligence officer in the U.S. Army and a counterintelligence agent, and I can tell you very clearly that federal crimes have been committed here. There's no question about it. Whether it was Joe Biden or not is the only question. But it seems highly unlikely that it wasn't Joe Biden. So let's just run through this. I'm going to break this down for you a little bit. First off, Joseph Robinette Biden illegally retained Obama administration top secret sensitive compartment information, our most secret secrets that the nation guards. These things are protected so that sources of information and methods used to derive that information are protected so that those things aren't burned and we still have those sources to rely on in the future and those methods. So this information is the most classified information in the U.S. government. And these programs require extensive background checks for people in the executive branch, those in uniform in the military, undergo rigorous background checks, polygraphs at different times for some of these programs, and quite a bit of scrutinizing your life. Not only did he violate it by illegally retaining Obama administration information, he also stored them in unauthorized spaces and stored them improperly. Let's run through the key dates on this. Now, we know this because CBS broke a story, and one begins to wonder why the story was broken now after the Republicans have taken control of the House. Was the pressure becoming too great? And more importantly, how did the Biden regime manage to keep this under lock and key and not let the information out? We had midterm elections taking place in November. And let me explain what I mean by this. On the 4th of November, the Biden team of lawyers discovers top secret sensitive compartment information documents in the Penn Biden think tank. Now, that's a whole other story. The fact that any organization associated with Joe Biden, a serial plagiarist and a serial liar who hasn't had original thought in his entire octogenarian life, would actually have something called a think tank named after him is just ludicrous to begin with. But they found the documents. Why were Biden lawyers looking through documents at this location, trying to find classified? Or were they just happened to be that he sent his lawyers over there just to take a look through and see what's going on over there, just days before the midterm elections? What's going on here? So that was the 4th of November, 2022. On the 9th of November, 2022, the FBI commenced an assessment. Where were the pre-dawn raids that Donald Trump was subjected to? On the 14th of November, unbeknownst to the public, Attorney General Merrick Garland, and of course a Biden appointee, appointed U.S. Attorney Lauch to investigate this case 2 months before there was a public disclosure, nearly 2 months. On the 20th of December, the FBI went and was looking around at Biden's residence. They didn't raid, no pre-dawn raids, no tipping off of CNN or the other media, no confrontational role here with the Biden family. They simply show up, they look through, and they find he has more classified information stored in a garage, which is where his Corvette is. And of course, Joe Biden's response to this is absolutely disgraceful and ridiculous.
Okay. Classified material next to your Corvette. What were you thinking?
Let me, I'm going to get a chance to speak on all this, God willing, soon. But as I said earlier this week, people, and by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage. Okay. So it's not like you're sitting out in the street.
So
but anyway,
was in a locked garage.
Yes, as well as my Corvette. But as I said earlier this week, people know I take classified documents and classified material seriously.
Now, why this cordial conduct when comparing this to the Mar-a-Lago raid, which was 91 days prior to the midterms? Now, why did this occur 91 days prior to the midterms? Well, folks, that's because the Department of Justice has a policy in which they will not interfere in any elections by publicly disclosing or taking action that could affect an election less than 90 days or less before an election. Well, they waited until 91 days before for maximum effect. On the 5th of January, U.S. Attorney Lauch, who was appointed back in November by Garland, recommended that this was so serious, Biden's violations. Now, there were 2 violations, one in D.C. and another at his home in Delaware of top secret sensitive compartment information, that it warranted a special counsel appointment. So he said on the 5th of January, appoint a special counsel. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Why? Because Republicans got sworn in and took the House, and they were praying they could bury this. On the 12th of January, today, a clearly reluctant Attorney General Garland announced the appointment of a Biden-friendly special counsel, Robert Hur, to investigate this situation.
On January 5th, 2023, Mr. Lausch briefed me on the results of his initial investigation and advised me that further investigation by a special counsel was warranted. Based on Mr. Lausch's initial investigation, I concluded that, under the special counsel regulations, it was in the public interest to appoint a special counsel. Earlier today, I signed an order appointing Robert Hur as special counsel for the matter I've just described.
Why the 1 week delay? Could it be that Merrick Garland had no other options? Well, in his press conference today, he also mentioned that today, the 12th of January, 2023, the FBI found yet another classified document, this time in a third location, Biden's personal library. Joe Biden is spreading classified information like viral particles shedding off of his skin all over the place. This is an atrocious situation. Now, Biden says the most ludicrous things, and probably the biggest comical thing he said his entire octogenarian life, other than the lies and the plagiarism he's done over the years, was when he said today that people know that I take classified information seriously in national security. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't take classified information documents seriously at all. You treat it as a joke with great disdain, just like you did riding on the Amtrak Acela from DC to Delaware each and every weekend, carrying classified information, openly reading it on a train where others could see it. You have disregard for our nation and for our national security, and you always have. And this is a message to the people who actually did go out there and vote for Joe Biden. You're responsible for this disaster, for this hyperinflation, for this destruction of America's foreign policy, for the conflict in the Ukraine, for the overthrow of the legitimate government in Myanmar. All of that falls on your shoulders because you chose this fool to be our president. I didn't vote for him, and I never would. Shame on you. Well, there's a situation, folks, and that's from someone that actually knows what they're talking about, not some talking pinhead that doesn't know anything about executive orders, doesn't know anything about the protection of classified information, doesn't know anything about sensitive compartment information. Someone who's actually done that, been there, and that's me. Well, folks, Joe Biden, without a doubt, is guilty of violating the Espionage Act. Now, he won't be prosecuted. Trump probably won't be prosecuted. Hillary Clinton was never prosecuted for her intentional violation of the Espionage Act on multiple occasions. There you have it, folks. That's the situation. Now, this is worse than Watergate, because this is a cover-up. This is a cover-up. On the 4th of November, when this information was turned over to the government, it should have been announced within a day or so that this was underway. They intentionally covered up and hid it until they had no option but to release it after finding a third location. Worse than Watergate. This is intentionally hiding the fact that Joe Biden has compromised the national security of this country. This is an incredible cover-up, worse than Watergate. Joseph Robinette Biden is the Mr. Magoo of national security. Folks, if you don't follow this program or my content, please do become a follower or a subscriber. Just join us. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.